What's going on, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and in this video, I want to talk about the injury update we got from Shams this morning. He talks about Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and OG Anunoby, and when Knicks fans can expect those three players to return. Added some more clarity to OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson, so I want to share my thoughts of this and give you guys the overall update, and I also would love to hear from Knicks fans down below in the comment section, as usual, of what your thoughts of the injury update and overall the video. Don't forget to hit that like button, folks. Really do appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. Now, let's get straight into business. I'll link down below in the description the link to what Shams had to say this morning on FanDuel TV. So he basically said, let's start off with Julius Randle. He said, quote, "I'm told Julius Randle's rehab is going well. His goal is to still play this season." So the issue with Julius Randle right now, I think we already knew this, but Shams kind of just added more clarity to it, is that Randle had no setbacks, right? He is still aiming to return this year, but the unfortunate thing is he will not be playing at 100%. He's going to have a little ailment in his right shoulder whenever he does return, and there is a risk, and this is where why Julius Randle in this camp are even evaluating potentially getting a season-ending surgery and not return, is because he does not want to risk potentially re-aggravating that shoulder for the long term of his career, because he's, entering, I would say, the prime of his career. And obviously, you would assume Julius Randle wants to have a long career in the NBA, play well into his 30s. And the risk of coming back and playing through an injury like this is re-aggravating it and risk long-term effects. So that's why Julius Randle and his camp, and of course the New York Knicks, are trying to play it smart. And if I'm the Knicks, I would just rest Julius Randle as much as you can, get him out there on the court in April, and because all we really need him for is the playoffs. So I would try, if I'm the Knicks, let him rest throughout the entirety month of March, get him in the rotation if he's healthy enough, obviously, early in April, so he can get into the rhythm, and then hopefully he can play through that shoulder injury and help this Knicks team out there in the NBA playoffs. Definitely unfortunate stuff here about Julius Randle. We were expecting him to be back, and the injury wasn't too severe when we first got the update, but it's definitely something that's going to be lingering on for Julius Randle throughout the rest of the season. Now, going into OG Anunoby, he has a lot more clarity to his injury. According to Shams, he said that the hope is over the next 2 to 3 weeks, he's going to be back on the floor. So this is great news about OG Anunoby, because we know what to expect from OG. He's actually expected to start shooting around, I think, this week, and the Knicks are going to ramp him up. And he had his elbow surgery just 3 weeks ago. He's been out for a month now, and I think that for the Knicks to get OG back in 2 to 3 weeks, that's a perfect timeline for him to rest. And I feel like we're seeing what the Knicks are doing right now. I know we had a tight win against the Pistons last night. We lost to the Celtics, but with Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks, that trade kind of helped this Knicks team out, be able to stay afloat while we're still injured with, unfortunately, these three guys out there. So I think that OG coming back in 2 to 3 weeks is definitely a positive. It could have been way worse, because usually when you get elbow surgery in the middle of the season, you're shut down for the rest of the year. So let's hope OG can get back and be ready to go and get into rhythm with this Knicks team, getting ready for April in the NBA playoffs. And then Mitchell Robinson, he didn't really have that much of an update on him, just the fact that they are hoping that he can return. It is a sketchy injury because it is an ankle that he had surgery on months ago, and they're expecting Mitchell Robinson to potentially get ramped up at the end of March, heading into April as well. So there's kind of like a very similar timeline for all three of these players for the New York Knicks. The only one that's more clear-cut of exactly what we can expect is definitely OG Anunoby with his elbow, him being back there in 2 to 3 weeks, whereas Julius Randle, up in the air. There's no official timetable on him. Same with Mitchell Robinson. There's no timetable on them either. The good news is there's no setbacks. There's nothing to really worry about in terms of, their rehab is not going right. Everything's going proper for these guys. Julius Randle still has some checklists to hit in order for him to get back onto the floor. So share your thoughts down below in the comment section, Knicks fans. Definitely we need these three back, especially for the NBA playoffs. Feel free to let me know your thoughts. Hit that like button, folks, and let's go Knicks. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.